Oh, what a day, what a day, what a day to be watching TNA. I thought that sounded pretty nice. Look, going into Slammiversary, do I have a lot of interest? For most of the stuff, I am. But a lot of it was not on the show. So, this wasn't a very great effort by TNA. But the effort they did put in does give enough interest that Slammiversary will be interesting. Now I'm going to only talk about the things that was interesting or pissed me off. The thing that interests me but really made no sense to me. When you look at the EC3 and the Rockstar Spud segment with Brooke. Now I'm glad to see Brooke and I'm hoping with everything she's back. This is not a one-time only. My guess is it is a one-time only. But I'm hoping I'm wrong about Brooke. I would love to see Brooke Tessmacher back to wiggle that ass and show those poom poom shorts. And we need more knockouts. Please don't let this be it for her. But the thing that was ridiculous, the one who sold that segment to me, which was still didn't make a lot of sense, but they're trying to really make Bully Ray look bad, was Rockstar Spud. He was the one that just made this entire segment work for me. At least until EC3 tried to get involved in it and it just didn't make a lot of sense with him. Rockstar Spud, I can understand he would do something really in order to do something underhanded and dirty. But EC3 just didn't seem right to me. Bully Ray coming out, and I gotta say this about Bully Ray, taking away from what he said with Brooke in the ring. To her and the EC3. You guys know how I feel about Bully Ray. I don't know why they kept him on TV for so long. They should have let him go away for a couple months, come back, and it would have had a more fresher feel. But they haven't done that. But I have to say this. Him turning back to a face has worked out decently well. The crowd is interested in him. And as much as a lot of people, I'm sure, do not want to even see him on television, and I'm one of them to a certain extent, only reason I just don't want to see him right now, I just want him to go away for a few months and then come back. That's what I wanted almost 6 months ago. And I didn't get it. That's why I'm angry. But seeing this, I cannot deny that as a face, he's done pretty well. And that's something you can't take away from going into Slammiversary. And now a Texas death match? I don't remember the last time someone said it. WWE, I don't remember anyone saying it in maybe a decade. Maybe a bull rope match, but not a Texas death match. Really, so counting if they're actually going to follow the rules of a death match, this will be quite interesting to see. So part of that segment was a little wonky, but still it was effective. The next thing, when you look at Gail Kim looking at Madison Rayne and Brittany. Brittany. Sad, but it was what it was going to be. I called it. I said Brittany was going to do the creepy lesbian bit, and she has. But I have to say this. They're not pulling the gun, well, they're not pulling the trigger completely on that little gimmick. Because even though they do a certain extent to it, there hasn't been enough sexuality in it. And putting it on the website is not enough. It has to be done in the show. Now, of course, Gail Kim wins because they don't think Madison Rayne needs to deal with this. She needs to deal with Brittany, as I've said. But here's the problem. At the last minute, they're going to have a Brittany Madison Rayne match. It's going to happen. Either two things. One, they're going to have a match at Slammiversary, which will be sort of a dark match. Or two, they're going to have a fight on Slammiversary or the show after that. My guess is they're not going to focus on them on Slammiversary, which they should. If they want to make this interesting, they must have a fight on Slammiversary or some type of confrontation, even if it's not physical. Maybe Madison Rayne will get kissed on television. And I know not everybody wants to see Madison Rayne have a sexual moment, but we need it. Because if they're going with this, they have to go all the way with it. If they half-ass it, acid. Sorry, you see how much I'm botching because I would rather see something more interesting than that. But this is what we have. And even though I'm not 100% interested in it, it is what I predicted. Now, the Freak and the Menagerie. I say Rob Terry first, is that he has not had a match yet. Now, it's a possibility he'll have a match on Slammiversary with somebody. And I'm hoping he will, because he needs to get over. I am not bored with the Menagerie, as much as people don't like it because it's a bite off of Adam Rose. Sorry about that. I hate when that happens. Battery dying while you're in train of thought. Look, I don't care if the Menagerie is a bite off of Adam Rose, or if it was produced well beforehand and had been thought out carefully. It's as entertaining as Adam Rose is and his Rosebuds group. I don't care. We need something different in the wrestling promotions. We need something that's funny, that's fun. And seeing Rebel with those poom poom shorts, she's one of the most sexiest women that's on the show right now. Seeing the Freak, Rob Terry, and I hope he does get a match maybe at Slammiversary or next week. Seeing that Crazy Steve, and I forgot this wrestler's name. You guys can tell me below. But I'm very interested in seeing how far they're willing to go with this guy. Particularly that he's still having to deal with Robbie E. And Robbie E is being used the way he should be used. As comic relief and as a jobber. He jobbed the Mike Knox in his match, which is fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what is needed. That's what we need. Now I want to say something about James Storm and Mr. Anderson. But I can't. Because he wasn't on the fucking show with his partner. You got a feud between Mr. Anderson and James Storm. Throwing the storm in your face, baby. And they weren't there. That really brings the show down for me. That's actually one of the more interesting feuds they have. I've been really interested in seeing it, but they weren't on the show, which was stupid. I don't get what they were thinking. And that brought the show down for me quite a lot. Now, the final thing I'm going to talk about is the Eli, or EY, feud here. I can understand them doing 2 out of 3 falls. At the third one, if he wins, he gets a stipulation for Slammiversary. But why didn't MVP state it in the beginning? MVP said clearly after a wonderful Kenneth King kept interfering with his ass that it's going to be 2 matches. If you win those 2, you get what you want. But he doesn't say clearly you're getting 3 matches. If you win 2 out of those 3, you get what you want. Why does it have to be left up to Taz and Mike TNA to do it? MVP should have been the one to state it. And this is where I think they really fell on their faces here. Now, the Bobby Lashley match was okay, and he won it. That was alright. And since commentary did explain it, I went with it. But I wasn't fond of seeing that it was such a botch with Taz. And then Mike TNA made it worse for me. Then when it came to Kenny King, it was actually a very good match. Kenny King represented himself well. Of course, he lost. He had to. He's the lowest guy on the totem pole. He has to lose. But when it came to dealing with the MVP of the TNA, I felt this. I would have liked it to be shorter. Yeah, you could say, well, you need to show Eli to be tough, so it'll go into Slammiversary. But I really felt that it could have been a lot shorter. He gets his ass kicked before he enters the ring, and I'm talking about Eli. Then they stretch it out a little bit too long. Honestly, they could have just threw him into the match. Threw him into the ring, started the match. MVP brings the chair out, says exactly what needs to be said, and then gets hit in the back. And I'm talking about Eli with the chair, and it ends there, and they could have done their bit. And you could have ended the show. Well, actually, you could have ended the show and still put Anderson and Storm on. Fuck, that was stupid. But you get my point. The segment at the end could have been shorter. And you could have had Anderson and Storm there. And I really believe they didn't do a very good job. Now, the last thing I may talk about, and I just remembered it, I'm sorry. And that is Willow dealing with Magnus and Bram. Now I have to say, Magnus looks better. He does. I would have liked him to be in more teared up and tattered clothes. And to be a little bit more wilder. Now maybe it's because he's doing this for the first time and he's switched over. He'll need a little time to really build into it. So I'm alright with it being at least at this level. But I'm hoping it'll get stronger. Now seeing Willow's going to work with the Abyss actually makes sense. I'm actually alright with seeing Willow work with the Abyss. In fact, I would like to see them as a tag team. The two masked Avengers, whatever you want to call them, dealing with everyone. So they're going to have a match. This is going to be Willow and Magnus. Kind of like something that cleans up the mess that's been for almost for the last year. So, was this a good show? No. Why wasn't Anderson and Storm there? I'm sorry. I don't buy that you want to stretch everything out for the Eli segments. You could have had them there. Unless there was some type of situation with either Storm in real life or Mr. Anderson in real life where they could not do it, I really believe they made a serious mistake because I believe that is a stronger feud than most. So, seeing this wasn't that great, but I am still interested in seeing Slammiversary. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane view. Please give me a comment below. Give me a thumbs up once in a while so others could see me. And I will be getting my Slammiversary review done. You guys have a good day and have a nice Father's Day. Peace out!